Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Coach Ben's Authors and Coaches United. Today we have a special show with author Paul Hollis. Let's go ahead and get started. What inspired the Hollowman?
The inspiration for the storyline comes from a series of true events that occurred during the early 1970s. Hollowman traces more or less some of my lesser known experiences as a young lad. To make a story long story short, I met a guy in early 1973 who thought I was wasting my time digging latrines in East Africa for the Peace Corps. He had a better offer for me. At the time, terrorism was on the rise, and I was assigned to learn as much as I could about it. Most early acts of terror were specific, personal, and damage was focused on a distinct, definable enemy, so that there were not a lot of uh, let's say collateral damage. Terrorism was actually um, becoming uh, a, a, a starting to be to change its strategy to the familiar senseless chaos that we recognize today. The death of political figures no longer seemed to bother us that much at that time, but the new random attacks of violence against our children was kind of something that really hit home. The targets of the targets of innocence became preferable to those people because it was the kind of shock and hurt, as I said, that really enters everyone's heart. The fear behind it grew larger with every incident.
Were you actually a spy?
My books, I like to say that my books are 80% and 90% true. Um, and with that in mind, I never was really classified as a spy. I was more like a tourist uh, until until I was needed actually for surveillance or research activities. I was not particularly trained. I certainly was not a hero, not clever or capable, talented or tested. So, uh, with with this in mind, this is not just another Jason Bourne, Jack Reacher kind of story. It's more like a guy with a red shirt in a Star Trek episode. The word that comes to mind is expendable.
What is the Hollowman really about?
Generally speaking, it's a story about a U.S. government field analyst haunted by the death of a dead child that becomes obsessed with finding the terrorist who murdered her. Um, Set against the background of Cold War Europe, the Hollow Man follows the journey of Doc, the protagonist, who is a disillusioned American government analyst haunted by the ghosts of his past. He's not particularly a stable kind of a guy. Um, he's tasked with surveilling a notorious terrorist and becomes embroiled in a dangerous conspiracy that blurs the lines between reality and an illusion, basically. So um, the story begins with a encounter with Doc experiencing a surreal kind of a scene of a Misty Cathedral where a young girl is dead, covered in blood, and she actually warns him of the dangers he's facing. This haunting vision kind of sets a stage for this descent in from into a world where nothing really matters, nothing seems as what it is. Doc is abruptly then reassigned to from the terrorists to watch over Luis Carrero Blanco, who was the prime minister of Spain under Franco at the time, and Doc navigates his treacherous roads of Madrid. There's a huge explosion. The CIA gets involved, the KGB. ETA, which was a Basque separatist group, a Spanish Basque separatist group at the time. And despite his attempts to stay ahead of all this, all the things that are going on, he just kind of is led into an area where nothing, kind of it's illusion, or is it real kind of thing. And so he's sort of going along that path. Um, so basically, he's haunted by this girl, the mysterious dead girl, who's where he's driven to kind of find the guy who caused the murder, etc. So basically, not to give too much away, that's really the storyline there.
Your writing style is fairly unique. Please tell us more.
I love answering this question because many of my reviewers have said that the Hollowman belongs on the big screen as a movie. And so here's why I think that's true for myself. My writing is very visual. It's important for me to completely immerse readers, drawing them into each scene. I want my readers to experience what's going on around them, to feel the excitement, to hear the voices, so that when the reader says that the book belongs in the movie realm, I feel that I've sort of made it completely real for those folks. So for me, there are two aspects that make the story real. First, the realistic dialogue is a key for me, and I think for any writer. Just my opinion there, but how people talk makes a character come to life. Readers can really skip parts of the description and the scenery and the story of storyline of any book, but when it comes to actually reading, people are just kind of drawn to seemingly to what the character has to say. So dialogue for me then uses words that people actually speak, as in complete contractions or a lack of those, slang, accents, hesitations, word selection, um, probably the physical actions that each person uses when they're speaking. So combining all of that, I think it really kind of speaks then to the person, and each combination of those characteristics uh, are really unique to each character, and that's what's important, that to make that character, that person, walk off the page and enter into the reader's imagination and join them actually for the ride. The second thing that I think is important is location. It has to be visually real to me. So basically, would viewers be satisfied with a movie set in say Paris or London that takes place exclusively indoors, and or on a Hollywood set? Maybe so, maybe not. So for me, it's important to take the reader along for that full ride. So each location provides its own set of rules, which characters have to make decisions within. So characters are challenged by location. They're challenged by language, culture, the weather, and also the people around them. So, and if all of that things are characters that in themselves, each one of those things is a character that the speaker in the character has to actually contend with and kind of guard against, kind of thing. So you have that going on there. The location or the setting um, also creates the mood of the story, which helps shape the emotions that the reader feels. Yeah, it's important for the reader to feel, as I said, the environment, and experience the settings around him. So, for example, the proverbial mist of London, or the taste of French cuisine. So once I can capture all of that in story format and in words, the more that I believe that people can say, I'm right there with you, right beside the actors, the in this case the characters that make the decision, why they make them, how they make them, with what are the the implications around each actually verbiage that they speak.
Where can listeners go to find more information about your work?
You can find more about me at my website. You can find more about the books. It is the hollowmanseries.com, and you'll find more information there than you ever want to know about somebody.
That's all for this episode. Much love, everybody.